Another name, and I'm telling you right now, this kid is not going to play himself up into the conversation of the top 10 in the draft. But he could play himself into the first round, and depending on how the Eagles use their apps and who's sitting there and the like. I've now watched 3 Fresno State games. I stayed up till 2:45 a
Boy,
couple of weeks ago.
you are really killing Jalen Hurts in an underdeveloped. We're talking Fresno State football.
Well, hey, I enjoy playing amateur NFL scout.
No.
Mac guys here with number 365. About 20 minutes from now, we're going to punch up our buddy Joe Sayano, Philly Voice, Eagles contributor. He basically covers everything for Philly Voice. Joe does it all. But we get him on to talk about the Birds, and we will do just that about 20 minutes from now. Johnny and I continue to break down what happened against the Cowboys and look ahead. We were just talking about Jamie Collins. Can you look ahead with Jamie Collins playing linebacker for the next 13 games and go, hey, they could be a better team? Is it even worth it? That's where the debate and the rub comes in. Somebody's got to play quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles the next 13 games. And we assume it's going to be Jalen Hurts for at least a while longer. After having an outstanding first game this year, not as good week number 2, inability to get it in from in close. Didn't like the play calling, but Jalen didn't make any plays either. And the not-so-Philly special is got to be coming out of the playbook because he looked like he had no idea how to run a route. We know he knows how to run, but be a receiver coming out of backfield, that did not go well. And then he had this game against the Cowboys this week, and even though the numbers, some of them you can make an argument for, look okay, his post-game potty references I thought were entertaining, but overall, that was not a good game by the Eagles starting quarterback. He had passes that he underthrew. He had passes that were open that he couldn't deliver on time and in location. I just overall thought he had a really poor game. The conversation is going to start here again any minute, Johnny Mac. How is that Deshaun Watson situation playing itself out in Houston? Can we get a college football schedule out this week and start to check who are the top quarterbacks and where they're going to be playing? And
yeah, by the way, the top quarterbacks are not doing well in the early college season. The guys who were projected to be potential top 15 picks, top half of the first round. So that's not good. Deshaun Watson still doesn't want to play for the Eagles, so that's not good. Depending, a lot of fans wouldn't want him because of his off-the-field issues. The Eagles would want him, but that's a different conversation. Still will not come off that stance. So until he does, it's the draft or Jalen Hurts. And I know a lot of people, and I saw your old partner, I saw his tweet. Good news is the Eagles could have 3 potential first 10 top 10 picks. No, they can't. I'm sorry, Glenn Macnow. Ton of respect for you. But the Indianapolis Colts will shut things down if they have a potential top 10 pick. They will not allow Carson Wentz to hit 75%. They won't. As simple as that. Chris Ballard is too smart. That's just not going to happen. Now, a high second-round pick is still good as well when you're talking about having 2 first-round. So if you have 2 high-level first-round picks and a really good second-round pick, that still helps you. But, again, the college quarterbacks have not wowed us, and Jalen Hurts has not wowed us. I'm not going to go the extremes, though, Jody. After week 1, he's the answer. It's over. Long term, it's great, Baba Kumbaya. Now it's, this is a disaster. No, I'm going to stay comfortably in the middle. My concern is, and it's been my concern, when he's allowed Jalen Hurts to throw the football down the field, he has not been successful. That's my concern. And that's got to change, and it's got to change pretty quickly.
I certainly agree with you about the Indianapolis Colts. My only point there would be, how is that going to play with Carson Wentz?
No, I'm not going to play well, but who cares at that point?
The Colts are sitting at, let's just make the number up, 3-9, 12 games to go. We got 5 games to go. That's about. Carson has played the great majority, like he has now. He's well into 90% of the snaps. And they're sitting there at 3-9, and Frank Reich has to call him into the office and say, Carson, here's the deal. We still like you. You're still our quarterback of the future, but we're in a transition phase, in case you've never heard that word before. We're in a transition phase now. The transition isn't you, but as a team, we're transitioning. So we need that high first-round draft pick we may be getting. And, yeah, we can't take the chance that you're going to actually do well for us here in the last couple games. So, yeah, we're going to go with JAKIB Eason as our quarterback for the last 5 games of the season. We want you to stay ready. We want you to stay optimistic. We want you to be a team player and work with JAKIB in the meetings. Carson says, whatever you want, coach. I'm your man, coach. I'm here for you, coach. You think that's got any chance of flying that Carson Wentz becomes the good teammate?
Probably not, but I don't think the Colts are even nearly in the same circumstances as the Eagles were, who invested so much in the Carson Wentz, believed so much in the Carson Wentz, and they wanted it to succeed. The Colts will be like, this didn't work. Hey, Carson, you're not playing this week. You're done. We're turning the page. That's it. I mean, they don't have that history.
They're telling them, listen, we're going to trade you.
No, they're going to say JAKIB Eason or whoever is going to play. That's it. That's going to be the conversation. And Carson's going to be out of there. What if they can trade him, or they'll just cut him? They don't have the huge albatross the Eagles had. That'll just be a typical, and Carson will be at the crossroads of having failed in 2 organizations, and he'll probably have to come to the self-realization he's going to be a backup quarterback until he proves himself moving forward. So if they get to that point, 3-9, they just bench him, and that's that. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. And they're not even going to explain. It's not going to be the kid gloves treatment, other than Frank Reich is a really nice guy, probably say, sorry, Carson, but, this is more important for the team long term. Yeah, they will just pull the plug. It won't be an issue at all. Jim Irsay, I don't know if you saw it, Jody. He was already out there last week talking about Carson's vaccination status, talking about he's got to stay on the field. He was taking a hardline approach to the quarterback, and he should, to be honest. There is no background. There is no marriage. They didn't use all those assets to go up to number 2 in the draft, all the history, none of that. This is just a guy who came in and didn't work in that type of situation.
I'm looking here at the Indianapolis Colts salary cap, dead cap money if they were to cut him. Certainly not as big as the Eagles, but they're not going to get him for free. They are going to take a hit if they move on from him. He still does have guaranteed money left in his contract. So wouldn't be a complete, we can just move away from him at this time. I think if his play is that bad, they'll move away from him because of his play, not because, hey, we took a shot and it didn't work and we'll just get on with the rest of our lives. They would have to eat a little dead cap money. It'd be very interesting to see how it's handled by the Colts when they do it. All right, I will suggest to all you Eagle fans out there, a game you want to watch this Saturday, not Sunday with the Birds. You may not want to watch Sunday at the Birds with Patrick Mahomes at 1-2 coming to town with a chip on his shoulder. Sorry, Eagle fans. So I'm talking about Saturday, the University of Mississippi going into Alabama to take on the Crimson Tide. We know who our producer Xander will be rooting for in that one. But I have been tremendously impressed with Matt Corral, the quarterback from Mississippi. He is right now, I think, the leader in the clubhouse for the Heisman Trophy, which a lot of people thought Spencer Rattler was the leader before the season started. He has not been impressive. Sam Howell has not been impressive. Keaton Slovis from USC has not been impressive. All the guys who everybody had at the top of the chart gotten off to pretty slow starts in college football this year. Matt Corral from Mississippi has been phenomenal. Now, Alabama's a 2+ touchdown, almost 3 touchdown favorite because they are every single week and they've got a better team. But this kid quarterback absolutely could be playing himself to the top of the draft this upcoming year. And if you haven't seen him play yet, this is the best weekend of the entire year. Now, there's one other game I do want to make note of because another guy who will be in the conversation for the #1 quarterback as all these other preseason possibilities get off to slow starts. You and I have talked about him here on Birds 365. Malik Willis from Liberty has also gotten off to a pretty good start. Not throwing for a ton of yards, running a lot. Looks kind of a lot like Trey Lance, as a matter of fact, but he's completing a high percentage of his passes. Mississippi and Liberty actually play. I think it's the first Saturday of November. So Matt Corral against Malik Willis. Oh, that's circle that one. Look up the date on that one now, Eagle fans, because if you believe what John just said, Deshaun Watson not happening, how the Eagles going to get the quarterback of the future if it's not Jalen Hurts? Oh, that's going to be a showdown game between two guys who I'm telling you right now will be ahead of the Spencer Rattlers and Sam Howells and Keaton Slovises. Both Willis and Corral will be guys who will be, by the time we get to the draft, ranked ahead of them, and guys the Eagles absolutely should be targeting.
Yeah, certainly Willis. I'm not sure on Corral. If he beats Alabama, obviously, skyrocket. Only because he's I haven't seen him play that much, and I certainly haven't, don't have time to look at where NFL scouts. He's got a chance, I guess, to go the Joe Burrow route, but I think he's a little bit undersized. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jody. So then
he's a 6-footer.
Yeah, so then you got to be really athletic. You got to be in the is he that athletic to overcome that lack of size? Just knowing how NFL scouts think, it's going to be more difficult for him than it is a Willis, where more of the concern was obviously is going to be the level of competition and stuff like that. But once the Rattlers of the world, the Howells of the world are disappointing, then the Willises have a chance to jump up there. I just don't know if traits measurable wise, Matt Corral is going to be able to get there. But I haven't seen him play. Is he very athletic? Because he's got to be very athletic if he's that size.
No, not really.
So
he can pull it down and run with it, but he's not Trey Lance or Malik Willis type. I don't even think he's a Jalen Hurts type. No, he's a stand in the pocket and throw kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't. Not that I'm not saying I'm saying I know how these guys think. And if he's a stand in the pocket guy at 6 foot, whatever he is,
he's got okay size. He's as per comparison to other quarterbacks in the NFL, he's slightly undersized. He's not as undersized as, say, Devonta Smith would be as compared to other wide receivers around the National Football League. You just look at his skills and believe he's going to be able to play at the next level despite his size. I would say the same thing about Matt Corral.
Yeah, I mean, things are changing a little bit, and that's probably a good thing from the quarterback position. He's going to have some movement skills to overcome that. If you're a traditional pocket passer, they still want 6'4", 6'5", and maybe you'll get away with 6'3", but they don't even want traditional pocket passers to begin with anymore. So the league is shifting in that direction. Maybe it'll be a polarizing prospect. But knowing NFL personnel people, they want to see some kind of special trait if you're that undersized at the quarterback
The kid
position.
can fire the football. He's got a serious
Well, let me say, you're Zach Wilson, and by no means am I writing Zach Wilson off. That's the kind of player you have to be, the all-platform throws. because Zach Wilson hasn't showed up yet, obviously. He's got tremendous, tremendous arm talent. I saw that live. I mean, it is striking when you see it on the practice field compared to other guys throwing the football. If he's got that, maybe something can happen.
Corral can throw the football. I've watched a couple of his games so far. And I'm going to give you one other name. And I'm telling you right now, this kid is not going to play himself up into the conversation of the top 10 in the draft. But he could play himself into the first round. And depending on how the Eagles use their apps and who's sitting there and the like. I've now watched 3 Fresno State games. I stayed up till 2:45.
Boy, you were really killing Jalen Hurts in an underdeveloped. We're talking Fresno State football.
Well, hey, I enjoy playing amateur NFL scout.
No, I know.
I watch every college football game with an eye on how's this guy going to translate to the next level. That's just me. And I saw this kid play week 0 and said, damn, I've never seen him play. He can throw the football. He's got him hanging. Kid by the name of Jake Haener on Fresno State. He is, for my money, should be, he's got no chance, but should be just off the stats, the leading candidate ahead of Matt Corral for the Heisman Trophy this year. He's got 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He leads college football in yards thrown at 1,800. You talk about undersized. He's actually 6'1". They list Corral at 6 foot, but Corral is like 205, 210. Jake Haener's 195, and I'm telling you, they're adding pounds to him. He looks like a scat back more than he does a quarterback. But this guy's got him hanging. He hangs in the pocket against UCLA a couple of weeks ago. I told you I stayed up till 2:35. I was on the air till 2. I stayed up another half an hour to watch the end of the game and watch him march his team down the field against Chip Kelly's defense and pull out a game at the end of the game. Jake Haener, just put that name aside. No one is talking about him as a draftable quarterback. Certainly nobody talked about him coming into the year, yours truly included. But I jumped onto him early this year when he had a big game, week number 1. Fresno State has been known to develop quarterbacks, the Carboys, before. So just keep that name in the back of your pocket about a guy who could play himself into the first-round conversation. He's not there yet, but I'm telling you, he's a legit Heisman candidate.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jody, I tell you NFL statistics are overrated. Throw college statistics out the door. They're not looking at those types of things. There's certain offenses. I brought up.
He's got Joe Burrow to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
No, but but they're playing at Ohio State. That's a high level of competition. They're playing at LSU. I was thinking Fields. Burrow was at Ohio State. Transfers to LSU. He's winning national championships. There's a big difference between Fresno State and LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson when you're playing at that level. I just go back to Colt Brennan because of his season, which I think is still the record, with 5,500 yards, 58 touchdowns. I mean, look, those guys are tremendous college players, tremendous, and not a lot of people can do that. But there's a whole lot of difference between having a high-paced sort of like Paul Westhead offense on the football field and you can do that at the college level. You can't just do something nobody else is doing and piling up 5,500 passing yards in the NFL. It just doesn't work like that. And that's why it's difficult. And you try to, you see the young quarterbacks and how they're struggling so badly early in their careers. The Trevor Lawrence, who's as clean as a prospect you're going to get, is struggling. Fields is struggling. Wilson's struggling. Everybody's struggling. And it ain't easy.
John, if you want to dismiss him, go ahead.
I'm dismissing the Fresno State kid.
Keep your eye on Jake Haener.
I'm sure he's a great college player, but he's not going to be a first-round pick.
He will be an NFL player. Mark my word.
Well, that I'm not saying he could be a backup or a third-string quarterback. There's plenty. I mean, I remember Jake Browning's freshman year at Washington. I mean, he was just unbelievable. People were talking about him being a future #1 overall pick, and all of a sudden, you start looking at his size and it falls off and he doesn't get drafted. He's an NFL player, though. I mean, he's on Cincinnati, I think, it's backup quarterback. But I mean, I'm sure he could be an NFL player.
All I'm saying is, if I have to make a pick today, Jake Haener, Keaton Slovis, I'm taking Jake Haener. And people were talking about Keaton Slovis being the first draftable quarterback this year. If I'm talking about Jake Haener or Sam Howell at North Carolina, who some people thought could be the first overall number one pick, I'm taking Jake Haener. I haven't completely given up on Spencer Rattler yet. He's going to have to turn it around. But I've kind of passed on the Slovises and the Howells of the world. Keep your eye on a Jake Haener from Fresno State. Kids got him hanging. All right, we're hanging here on Bird 365. He's McMullen. I'm McDonald. Joining us next, we're going to get another Jay on the show. That would be Joe Santoliquito from PhillyVoice.com. I'm going to hop up.